Invincible is the Amazon original animated series based on the comic book of the same name by creators Robert Kirkman, Cory Walker, and Ryan Ottley. The story follows Mark Grayson, a 17-year-old boy who is the son of the most powerful man in all of the world, Omni-Man. And as he starts to develop his own powers, he starts to realize the world around him is a lot more dangerous than he originally thought. Now, I knew of the comic in passing, but I never really gave it a proper shot, especially because I don't read a whole lot of physical comics. But leading up to the animated series, I finally thought, let's go ahead and jump right in, let's get a head start, see what all the buzz is about. As of this recording, I've finished the first of 3 Invincible compendiums, which is issues 1 to 47. Now, the Amazon series is roughly about issues 1 to 13, with some added stuff in from later issues to, add some more flavor and meat to the story, especially for some foreshadowing later on. Now, it is going to be hard not to compare the series to the comic, as I kind of wanted this to stand on its own, but after reading the comic, it is a really faithful adaptation, so comparisons are going to have to be noted throughout. So let's start with the positives, because while I do have some gripes with this series, there is a lot more positive things to say than there is negatives. Now, off the bat, how can we not talk about this incredible voice cast? I mean, let's just go down the line and read a few. Stephen Young, Sandra Oh, J.K. Goddamn Simmons, Zazie Beetz, Kevin Michael Richardson, Walton Goggins, Gillian Jacobs, Zachary Quinto, Jason Mantzoukas, Clancy Brown, Mark Hamill, Mahershala Ali. Okay, I'm just learning about this now. John Hamm is a guy named Steve. What? Now, translating Ryan Ottley's incredible artwork to the screen wasn't going to be an easy job, but When Sun Sky Entertainment did a really good job. It looks a little bit simple, but when it gets going, especially in the fight scenes, it really gets going. And that's really what this hinges on. The violence. You can really see where the budget went, especially in that final episode. There is just blood flying all over the place. It is amazing. And something you can still get from the page, but really pays off in animation, is the weight of the fight scenes. When you see Mark punch an alien, or you see Mark take a hit, you can really feel that weight. And that's just one of the benefits of animation. But while good, Ryan Ottley's art does have a distinctive look and feel that, at least for me personally, has a lot more weight and fluidity to it that the animated series just didn't really capture. And while we're on the animation, I can't not talk about the 3D CGI. It's really bad. There's not a lot of it, but especially when there's large crowds of people or large hordes of aliens, it's really noticeable, and it's just something I can't not mention. And I do hope with the now seasons 2 and 3, Amazon sees the potential of this series and will give it a bigger budget, just so we can sharpen the animation more and hopefully tone down on the CGI. And oh my god, I have to show you this scene just in its full, because I laughed out loud at this. It's just perfectly cutting corners at its finest.
Yeah, I don't deserve to start over.
Hey, handsome Mark Grayson. I'm glad you've still got that pretty face of yours.
Me too. So, wanna hang out sometime?
Sure.
Look at that. What? Why did they do that? It's so bad. So, last thing I want to mention is the title card. I hate it. I think it's the most annoying part of this show. And it's small, but it really hurts me. So what they do is every episode, right before somebody says the name Invincible, they cut the sentence short and just show the title. No words, nothing. That's just it. And then it just continues on with the rest of the show.
You might as well give up. I'm... Sorry.
It's okay. I'm in.
Where's Mark, Debbie? Where's...
That's like me starting this review by saying, "Hi, I'm Austin, and welcome to..." And what if I did that every single video? Wouldn't that be annoying? So from here on out, I want to talk spoilers. So if you've already seen the show, or you don't really care about spoilers, keep watching. But if you want to just skip to my final thoughts and rating, skip to the time code. Okay, spoiler time. So this isn't going to really go in any particular order. I'm literally just going off the notes I took on my phone. So that's just a heads up if you're wondering why I'm really jumping around like this. Okay, so first off, in the show, I think Mark and Amber's meeting is a lot better handled in the comic, because in the comic book, if I remember correctly, Amber's number is just kind of given to him. It's just kind of like, okay, she likes him, but I don't really know who this person is. While in the show, we get to see Mark and Amber meet through the bully Todd, showing Amber the type of compassionate and selfless person Mark is, thus piquing her interest in him. So if there's one big change from the comic to the show that I really like, it's that Mark's mom Debbie is a lot more of a full character. She's a lot more complex with more wants and desires. In the comic book, she's just kind of there. Now in the show, she takes a lot more direct action. She's already an established real estate agent. She's actually smart enough to put the pieces together that Nolan killed the Guardians of the Globe and he's a murderer, thus making her more of a take charge character. Speaking of figuring out that Omni-Man is a mass murderer, Damien Darkblood, the demon detective, is such a better character in the show than in the comic. In the comic, he is so slow. It takes him at least 20 issues after the fact that Omni-Man has been outed to the world for him to figure it out. And he's even laughed at when he comes in telling that he knows that Omni-Man is a murderer because everybody already knew. In the show, Damien figures it out so quickly that Cecil actively sends him to hell just so he can keep it a secret a while longer while he figures out what to do. It's great. While making an adaptation, of course things are going to be cut, and that can either be to the detriment or to the benefit. For me, I think it's a little bit of both. You don't get to see a whole lot of Mark's early fighting days, and he is thrust off to Mars like really quickly, like I think in the 3rd episode. But of course this can be good as we can focus on smaller characters like Titan. We get to see more of his background and his family, and a little bit more of his motivation. Okay, so one thing I didn't like that they did in the show was the Sinclair and Rick storyline. In the comic, while in college, Mark and William's friend Rick goes missing. And he's missing for several issues, and it is continuously brought up by William that Mark needs to go and search for him, but Mark keeps putting it off because he's out doing superhero Invincible stuff. So in the comic, William convinces Mark to go on with a little scheme. William dressed as a homeless man to get himself kidnapped, as that's who the cyborgs are collecting. After a lengthy battle, concerned that Sinclair may have hurt William in some way, Mark, losing his temper, punches and breaks Sinclair's jaw. There's motivation there, and there's feeling, and there's passion. In the show, he just breaks his jaw for trying to escape. Like, that's it. There's no motivation, there's nothing behind it. He breaks his jaw just to break it. Just so it can look like the comic. It just didn't impress me. All in all, Invincible is a great show that I think anybody can really jump into, and you'll find something you enjoy about it. Whether you like the violence or you like the really good storytelling. I think there's a little bit of something for everybody. And I'm really looking forward to what they do with the 2nd and 3rd seasons. I hope it goes on for a whole lot more. At least as far as I've read, there's some really big stuff coming, and I'm excited to see how they adapt it. And I'm giving the 1st season of Invincible an 8 out of 10. Hi, thanks for watching. I'm still really new and I'm trying to find my groove in all this, but if you like what you've seen so far, Please subscribe, maybe like, leave a comment on what you think I should watch next, and I hope you stick around for the next video. Thanks again.